Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Jose here, welcoming you to another episode of Amazing Worlds, where today I am going to be reviewing Stolen Skies by Tim Powers, which is book 3 in his Vickery and Castaigne trilogy. This came out earlier this year, and it's a signed edition there that I got because I don't like Tim Powers as much as I think I do, and I've got a lot of his books, so there you go. If you haven't done so, check out the link in the description below to my video on the introduction to Tim Powers that I did a few months back. So, what we've got here is the usual paranormal stuff that Tim Powers does, but not as well as he's done in the past. So let me recap, let me explain. In here, we start with our titular Ingrid Castaigne character, which after the events of book 2 in the series, which I reviewed, so I'll link below as well again. Anyway, so she works for some sort of US intelligence unit in the UK, where she is spreading misinformation about crop circles. Crop circles, yes. So, turns out in the books that most crop circles are man-made, manufactured stories, but some of them are real alien origin things, events, facts, things that happen. So, what is actually going on? We don't quite know, because straight away she gets plucked out of there. She gets moved back to the US straight away because the US Secret Service has been chasing Sebastian Vickery, and they want her to be part of some sort of deal where she can identify him and they can apprehend Vickery. So she goes along with another member of the Secret Service, but obviously she cannot betray Vickery because they saved the world a couple of times. So she goes rogue, her handler also goes rogue, checking, why not, some Secret Service Russian people. This is like almost back to the 80s Cold War type thing. Checking a fair measure of Powers' typical ghosts pullulating California and all the mess that goes with it. Cue in a couple of characters back from the books 1 and 2. So Santiago, the young man that lives sort of on the outskirts of society, dealing with ghosts and stuff. Galvan, who was Vickery's first boss, who runs a limousine car hire service, but these cars are modified to prevent ghosts from identifying the person inside in some sort of way that is never explained. And basically, so they discovered this UFOs. So they don't call it UFOs here because the acronym is now a bit dated and a bit... Anyway, so there's a bunch of UFOs, there's this sort of extraterrestrial forms of life that are on Earth. And in order to propel themselves away from the Earth, they need so much power that they're going to freeze the Earth, the world's going to end. So Vickery and Castaigne are going to save the world. That's sort of the plot, the summary of the book. Now, it is interesting. It's a bit meh. It's a bit meh because, you know, how many times are these two characters going to get thrust together to save the world? I hope this is the last book in the trilogy. I haven't read the first one, but I feel like I have, because the events of the first book get retold. We get reminded so many times that they escaped from hell in a paraglider. There's not even one, it's not even twice. How many times do I need to hear about what happened in book 1? I've already got told quite a few times in book 2, but here again, every time they meet someone else, they had to tell the story. They went to hell in a taco truck and they escaped in a paraglider. There you go. That's the madness of the Team Powers thing. So that gets a little bit repetitive. This is very much a story plot of a character kind of book. Powers is interested in telling us his sort of weird, quasi-physical, metaphysical ideas of ghosts and aliens, and these characters are going to save the world by doing whatever it is that they have to do, which is never quite explained, the reason why, but anyway, they're going to do that, and we spend very little time with the characters or understanding the characters. So, you know, this is the third time that our two main characters get thrust together to save the world. But we don't spend any time exploring their relationship with each other. I don't mean necessarily a romantic relationship, but, you know, how all these events have affected them. There's none of that. It seems like they save the world, they go their separate ways, they get together, they save the world, they go their separate ways, same thing again. And how these events have affected and shaped them, it hasn't changed them at all. Vickery keeps living in a sort of camper van thing. Castaigne is still a secret service agent, and they just get on with their life after being exposed, having gone to hell and back, having in book 2 saved the world from a sort of communal single-minded entity. No, they're okay, they're just going about life, eating microwave dinners, that's it. So I think the formula is a bit sort of tried and tested now, and anything that Tim Powers has done in his other works with ghosts is better explored and better dealt with and better executed in, say, expiration date. So say you're new to Powers and you want to know about what he does with ghosts, go and check expiration date. It's a much more rewarding, fulfilling, satisfying story. As a little side note, because the action takes place in California, Powers does this a lot. He throws in little sentences in Spanish in the original work, because there's lots of sort of Mexican origin people there. He seems to like that kind of thing. What irritates me, and maybe it's just me, because, you know, is that it is not grammatically correct. Why is no one checking what he's writing? Who's checking this? There's all these grammatically incorrect, yeah, like you get what he's trying to say, but it's not exactly it's not how a Spanish person would speak, possibly not how a Mexican person would speak either. Like the meaning is there, but it's just incorrect Spanish, and I found that a little bit irritating. But again, there are some worthy explorations of interesting ideas, but they're just not that well executed. Like the magic or paranormal events, whatever you want to call it, remains confusing. No matter how many books I've read of Team Powers, everything is still a little bit confusing. You kind of have to accept that some characters do or know certain things, but we don't know how they know them, why they know them, how they know that doing maths makes ghosts disappear. Like they go 2 + 2 is 4, 4 squared is 16, and 16 minus 16 is 0, and the ghost goes and they disappear. Like, why is that? Where does that get established? How do the characters know that? And then there's this other thing about, because of the events in book 1, both Vickery and Castaigne have got this sort of, it's a cool concept, right? You know how you echo, basically, you say something and you hear it back, right? So he's got this concept of echo vision. So our two main characters can actually sort of echo see things, so they can sort of stand still and then at a place, and they can see what happened like kind of an hour ago. They got this echo vision thing, so they live in some sort of dual reality. It's kind of, it's a cool idea, it's a cool concept, but he just presents it. I'm not entirely sure why they've got these, and they use it to get rid of these aliens that are going to freeze the Earth, but entirely sure why. It's all kind of explained, but it's confusing, and I'm going to be a bit harsh, I'm going to be a bit cruel here, but it's kind of the thing where Powers, in this book, is an author with great ideas and not a very good writer, rather than a very good writer with not so good ideas. And like I said, this is being harsh and a bit extreme on my appreciation of what he's done here, but that's how I feel. And I'm not interested. If another Castaigne and Vickery books comes out, I'm out. I've done enough. I've read 2. I've got no interest in reading book 1 because I've been reminded so many times of what happened there, of the last 2 books, that I feel like I know it, I don't want to read it. But yeah, anyway, this is all I have for today. So, as usual, thank you ever so much for watching. Try to join in any of the live streams that I have, that I posted a couple of days ago. It'd be nice to say hi and exchange ideas. And I'm not entirely sure what my next video is going to be. I've got a couple of half-baked ideas, so I want to see if I finish cooking them. So until next time, take loads and loads of care. Bye!